happening, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Talking with Topher. It's October 3rd, 2024, and I'm so glad to see so many of you coming back for more. This is episode 235, and I can't believe we are in the beginning of October. This is wild. But before I get into anything today, let me start off the way I always do by saying thank you to all of my subscribers out there. You are what keeps me coming back here week after week. If you're new to the podcast, remember to hit that subscribe button. If you want to be a guest on the podcast, talkinwithtopher@gmail.com is the official email of the podcast. Send an audio, video, or type it out, but you guys send it over to the official email of the podcast. And then, of course, don't forget about my link tree. It's how you find everything TwT. It's just that easy. And now it's just that easy to copy and share it with everybody you know, but you can also click the share arrow right now. And with all that out of the way, let's get into today's episode, everybody. It's raining. I'm kind of recording these things back to back, so I don't have too much since last week's episode was all personal. This week's episode is going to be a little bit more topic-based. But I did have a couple things that happened just within today that I thought was pretty interesting. I mentioned to somebody that I had my American flag up, and they told me that that made them feel uncomfortable. What? Why does anybody feel uncomfortable about the best country on the planet and you putting out your flag and representing your country? You putting out the American flag and representing your country. What is so wrong about that? And then one of the people told me it was because it shows that you're a Trump supporter. The American flag was around way before Trump, everybody. Look, I don't know about anybody out there, right? But I know about myself. I've been flying the American flag every year since 2001. Ever since 9/11, I've always been putting up my flag. It was actually the one time in the world where the American flag meant more than negative things. It meant positive. It meant unity. And I still believe that to be true today. But I was told that it's looked at differently. And I don't think we should do that. We should treat it as what it is, a representation of our country, which is amazing. But I was told Trump supporter or it was like aggressive. And I can't remember the words that were used about 4 hours ago, but I was actually blown away. I never thought of it that way. I love America. I've always loved America. How can I not? You look around at any other country in this world, man, we're doing pretty good, even though we're not anywhere near perfect. And for some reason, people think that other countries are doing so much better than we are. On what? Women's rights? Gays' rights? Trans rights? Animal rights? I mean, go down the list of shit that we have for everybody here in America and then go compare it with another country. Doesn't exist. They don't feel the same way and they just don't care. But I was blown away because I was just like, man, that's crazy that you think that the American flag is only about Trump and racism. Racism? That's the Confederate flag, everybody. The Confederate flag. You know the losers of the Civil War? Yeah. That's not the American flag. It was a Confederate flag to represent the South, as far as I know. Now, I might be wrong. It could have been a moderation to the American flag, but I'm pretty sure that that flag was designed for the South during the Civil War, and people who are racist choose to fly it today because they still believe that the South should have won, right? And if I'm wrong, please leave comments. But I couldn't believe it. That's not our American flag today. That's the Confederate flag of the past. And I don't disagree with that flag not being flown. I do tie racism to that. But at the end of the day, I was just like, wow, everybody. Let's just get into Topher's topics. This is wild, everybody. I love this. Air taxi company closes $220 million financing deal, $1.5 billion raised. Investors included United Airlines and Archer's industrial partner, Stellantis, two major backers of Archer. New funding is expected to provide Archer with the ability to access up to an additional $400 million in capital in exchange for equity at future stock prices. United Airlines made a pre-delivery payment for 100 Archer electric aerial vehicles. Wow.
Flight testing is about gathering all kinds of data. So it's everything from just transition flying, so taking Midnight through many transition cycles, learning about how the aircraft handles. A lot of other flying around takeoff and landing profiles, so doing lots of landings, kind of tuning the control laws around that, or broadly just tuning the control laws for all phases of flight. And then lastly, just learning how to operate the aircraft with a high cadence, so flying many, many times per day, over and over. Just recently, we completed our 400th flight of the year. That was our goal for the entire year, so we hit it about 4 months ahead of schedule. So super proud of the team, super happy with the data we gathered, making really great progress. So what's coming up for the rest of the year is a lot more flying on Midnight. Then our next big milestone is flying with a pilot on board for the first time, and goals to get that aircraft put together, down to flight test later this year, and then into the air as soon as possible. We're really excited about the milestones coming up.
So that's the Archer air taxi. It looks like Dubai already has something like this in working order. I saw something else, the EAU or UEA or something like that, which I'm assuming is Europe, already has some type of air taxi that they have developed as well. So this is another one of those, just like the humanoids, everybody is making their version of this, and everybody is trying to get to the finish line as soon as possible. And it looks like these are going to be the ones for America. I don't know if people that are working on these are also working on the ones in other countries, or if everybody's just doing their own thing, and then once they get cleared, in their country, then they can fly all over the place. But I think this is going to be very interesting. Imagine sitting at a so-called bus stop, but it's really a landing pad, and you're just sitting there waiting for your air taxi to arrive. This will be very interesting to see how well this does, because I'm wondering if they are trying to add this in for like Uber and stuff like that. Like, are these going to be for short trips from, town to town or whatever, or are these going to be longer, more comfortable trips, like, but better than a helicopter? They are calling it a taxi, which makes me think it's going to be more rural, right? That's where a taxi is. It's in the city. It's bringing you here. It's bringing you there. So what if, it could pick you up and then drop you off on like a helicopter pad on top of the building, and now you can go to work. I don't know. These is all very interesting to me, because I don't really understand what they're planning on doing with it, but at the same time, it's just as exciting as the humanoids. But I'm telling you right now, man, I am seeing Terminator everywhere I look now, because that's what these vehicles and these robotic dogs and these humanoids remind me of, that Skynet. And I still do believe that maybe not right now, but maybe sometime in the future, we could be looking at our own demise, all right? As soon as the computers figure out that, hey, we're actually way smarter than these humans are. What are we doing? When will they figure it out? I'm telling you right now, we won't know when they figure it out until it's too late. But that was pretty interesting, I think this is really neat stuff. The scientists find vast underground ocean with more water than Earth's surfaces. What? We haven't even explored more than 10% of our actual ocean, and you found an underground ocean bigger than our entire landmass on the Earth? Huh? So that means there's even more water than there is land on this planet. Is that not crazy to think about? Like, if you look at the Earth, you go, wow, that's a lot of water, right? We're surrounded by water. This is crazy how there's even land here. But now we're finding ocean. Underground ocean. Scientists have recently discovered a vast ocean concealed beneath the Earth's crust as an immense reservoir of water stored in rock known as ridgewoodite. 400 miles below the surface, researchers found water stored inside mantle rock in an unconventional sponge-like state. Neither solids, liquid, nor gas, but a novel fourth state, Indy 100 reported. The findings were published in 2014 scientific paper titled Dehydration Melting at the Top of the Lower Mantle. A ridgewoodite is like a sponge, soaking up water. There is something very special about the crystal structure of the ringwoodite that allows it to attract hydrogen and trap water, said geophysicist Steve Jacobson, who was part of the team behind the discovery at the time. This mineral can contain a lot of water under conditions of deep mantle. He added, I think we are finally seeing evidence for a whole Earth water cycle, which may help explain the vast amount of liquid water on the surface of our habitable planet. Scientists have been looking for this missing deep water for decades. These findings were made after scientists were studying earthquakes and discovered the seismometers were picking up shock waves under the surface of the Earth. As a result, they were able to establish that the water was being held in the ringwoodite. According to the scientists, if rock contained just 1% water, it would mean that there is 3 times more water beneath the Earth's surface than its oceans on the surface. That's crazy to even say out loud. Additionally, in another scientific discovery made by scientists earlier, they found a new ecosystem when turning over volcanic crust with an underwater robot. Holy shit, man. That is wild. Wild. So there is more water underneath our surface than on our surface. Well, I guess that's kind of like the human body. I mean, think about it, right? We thought that our landmass, I don't know, was, I think, 40% of the earth. 60% is covered in water. Now we're finding 3 times that amount underneath. So would that mean that we're like almost 80% water, 20% land? And a human is 70% water, 30% everything else. That's why it's very easy for us to drown ourselves when we drink too much water, which you should never do. But that's so crazy that there's that much water. So when we're worried about the water drying up, I guess we don't really have to be worried about the water drying up. Absolutely crazy to think about. Now, no solar panels, no wind turbines, but Aeroleaf, the first tree that produces infinite energy at home. I thought this was so neat because I would love to be able to produce more energy than what my solar panels can actually do, even though I really, truly do love my solar panels, but hate the company that I went with. And unfortunately, I think that has a lot to do with today. I think a lot of these companies are not the greatest anymore. Let's see. Giant wind turbines aren't practical for homes, so the scientists behind this new invention fixed the problem. Wind and solar energy make up 2 major sources of renewable electricity currently. Most wind power projects feature giant turbines and can be as wide as 262 feet across. Giant turbines generate a lot of electricity and are used to power electrical grids, but they aren't practical for individuals to use. The scientists who developed the Aeroleaf fixed this problem. Aeroleaf turbine spins on vertical axis. This unique design allows the microturbine to capture all sorts of wind in different settings, including the urban and rural environments. Aeroleaf turbines can turn even gentle breezes into energy. Some of the other benefits of Aeroleaf are almost totally silent, casts virtually no shadow, is animal friendly, captures turbulent and laminar wind, whatever the fuck that is, and is 100% recyclable. Each Aeroleaf turbine can spin independently, but the devices are the most effective when they arrange together like leaves on a tree. New World Winds wants homeowners, businesses, and city governments to consider installing Aeroleaf trees to generate electricity for public and private use.
Next time you're sitting in a city park, you might find yourself surrounded by some unusual trees. The wind tree is made up of a steel trunk and mini turbine plastic leaves, and it's designed to harness energy from even the slightest of breezes. French startup New Wind says its silent but powerful windmill should appeal to those opposed to the noise and size of more traditional wind turbines. And founder Jérôme Michaud-Larivière says it works.
That thing is way bigger than I anticipated. Way bigger. Okay. These are huge. Oh, very interesting. Look at how big that is compared to him, even though he looks like a relatively big man. Ha.
Even when there's hardly any wind at all.
The main advantage of our technology is that it works with a very small input of energy and turbulent energy, so it will work with 2 meters per second of wind, whereas other machines need 4 or 5 meters per second to get going. And this means that we can produce energy over more days in the year.
At around 11 metres tall, the wind tree is designed to fit into the urban environment. And Parisians will be able to see it for themselves when a prototype is installed at the Place de la Concorde on the Champs-Élysées next March. The trees are expected to cost around $37,000 each, but new...
Wait a minute, what? $37,000 for a tree? Holy shit, everybody.
New Wind says they should pay for themselves within 2 years. The company
2
hopes
years?
to start mass production by early 2016.
Oh, it does look cool, though, when they're all moving like that. Huh. That is crazy. That is so crazy. New wind is designed, it's generated to look like a real tree. And it really does. Encourage sustainability in the urban environment. I mean, if this is what we're going to need to make it possible and to get rid of these traditional old turbines, it doesn't seem like it's going to be a bad idea. I want to go back 1 second. The silent, elegant wind tree could be placed much closer, too, so you can get more of them closer together to the services of power that's needed. So you can have them relatively close. It's 32 feet high, 63 inch. That's how big those are. 63 inches. Wow. And they can produce electricity with the slightest breeze while the tree resists storms and lasts about 25 years. Oh, man, I can only imagine having to replace those stupid things, right? The ball bearings or whatever wear out on them, and you're like, oh, I got 5 leaves that don't want to work anymore. But, I mean, it does look like a tree, and it is, you know, maybe, just maybe, that is something that we're going to be capable of doing. Maybe. I don't know. That's crazy, right? That's so much better than my solar panels. That's so much better than wind turbines and all these other things that have been coming up. It looks more like what you would see, you know, in a city is the tree. So if this happens, then maybe as they get mass produced, they get put into cities, they get put into these rural areas, maybe the cost will come down for homeowners. But I mean, I wouldn't be against planting one in my front yard and putting one in my backyard, or maybe putting 3 of them in the backyard, 1 of them in the front yard. So you have like a total of 4. And then you just run the cables to the electrical box, and then boom. No more delivery charges, no more energy charges, because now every time the wind comes through, it's just generating power. And I do have to say that, like, the one thing that doesn't seem to be going anywhere or changing too drastically, even though our winters and snow, summers have been rainy, this and that, you know, however you want to look at global warming. But at the end of the day, this seems to be a much better alternative than any of the other type of power that we're trying to produce by wind and or sun. So this could be something. And that video that I showed you was 4 years old. So that March that they were talking about was 4 years ago. So these things should already be planted and doing what they're said they were going to be capable of doing. We should have actual proof of that today. I just found this article like a week ago. That's crazy. So a man trying to hot pot, I don't understand people, fell into Yellowstone hot spring and was completely dissolved within a day. Hey, everybody, I've said this so many times. Stay away from the hot springs, you morons. Look at it. This guy is no longer here because he decided to, what do they call it again? Hot pot? What the hell is a hot pot? Oh, I don't know if you can see that picture right there, but I guess that's him in, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's so brutal. Oh man. Why? Why would you ever do this? So let's check this video out.
A man fell into a hot spring at Yellowstone Park in 2016. The extremely hot water caused severe burns as soon as he fell in. But the water also contains acid, which immediately began to eat away at his skin.
What?
After 5 minutes, the heat would have caused him to go into shock. When he was found later that day, he was pronounced dead. But the water was still too hot to reach him, so his body was left until it cooled. By this point, the acid and heat had completely caused his body to dissolve, leaving nothing but his wallet and shoes.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Woo! I had no idea there was acid in those springs. Oh my God. Hey, everybody, stop going in these things. Holy crap, dude. I honestly thought that those things were just water. He fell in, he's burning up, he's blistering up, and I thought that was an actual picture of him falling into the spring. It was that animated video and likeness of him that was side by side. But, I mean, that's like what people use to torture other people, you know? And this person, what's his name? Do we have a name for this dum-dum? Colin Scott. They broke the rules when they were hiking. Pork chop geyser to find a place to hot pot. Okay, this is what hot potting is. Hot potting is the illegal practice of swimming in one of the park's thermal features. Okay, well, I mean, Jesus Christ. What are we doing, everybody? What are we doing? According to The Guardian, the 23-year-old was reportedly walking on the boardwalk of Norris Geyser Basin when he dipped his finger in to check the water temperature when he slipped and fell into the scorching hot spring. His sister, who had no service on her phone, ran towards nearby museum to inform the park warden about the accident. However, by this time she returned. All that was left in the hot spring was her brother's head, upper torso, and hands. A YouTuber, Zach D Films, has uploaded a horrific simulation that depicts what would have happened to Colin. The content creator explains the hot water caused severe burns as soon as he fell in, but the water also contained acid. And after 5 minutes, the heat would have caused him to go into shock. Oh my God. Oh my God, everybody. Oh my God. I don't know why you would want to do this. I don't know what the fascination is about getting into a pot of boiling hot water. But I'm sorry. You were all morons. You're all morons. Anybody who wants to do this or anybody trying to do this, please take this as a warning. Stay the fuck out of these things, everybody. Jesus. Oh my God. That sounds horrific. Horrific. Now, absolutely vicious experts warn of new yellowjack species in New England. They come screaming out at you, experts warn. New dangerous kind of yellow jacket in Massachusetts. A dangerous species of yellow jacket that hails from as far south as Central America is now buzzing around parts of New England, experts are warning. The southern yellow jacket, also known as the Vespula squawkmasa, is aggressive and potentially lethal. Not only do they sting, but they bite too. According to Norm Pattison, a self-proclaimed yellowjack expert, who has decades of expertise removing insects from homes. They're biting and stinging, which just increases the pain, Patterson told WSFB-TV. I thought, what in the world is this? They just come screaming out at you. Very dangerous. Lethal to people who are allergic. What? Dude, what is going on with our planet right now? Let's find out a little bit more information, hopefully from somebody smarter than myself.
The southern yellow jacket is buzzing around New England, specifically in a place I know well, Connecticut. These bees are bigger, bolder, and they bite as well as sting. Over the last 50 years, climate change has brought these insects further north. While they are scary, experts say they only make up about 10% of the yellow jackets in the state, and they are not stopping there.
They have now pushed further up into New England and now picked up here in Connecticut, Rhode Island, and southern Massachusetts. So they're going to continue to go north.
They just come screaming out at you. Very dangerous. Lethal to people who are allergic.
Well, if you see a nest, best to call an expert to remove it as soon as possible.
So my question is, like, you can see what they look like. And I was at my friend's, Magella, and he got a new house recently, and he has these bullhead hornets. So are these even more aggressive than those? I think they were bullhead hornets, and those things, man, I mean, they're monsters, but they don't attack you unless you're attacking them. But their nest was this big in the tree. It was this big. His wife said she sprayed it several times, and they just keep going back to it. It's like they're unstoppable, even with our sprays and stuff. And I thought it was really neat. Maybe they have another picture of the nest. But yeah, right there. Look at this thing. Isn't that interesting? It's like a, it's like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a stack of pancakes, but it like branches off and they have like levels to the nest. Instead of it just being a big nest, they put these in the dirt. These are dirt dwelling yellow jackets. I do believe, don't we have hornets that live underground? Or do we have yellow jackets that live underground as well? I'm not very good with my insects, I guess. I just don't like bees in the first place, and I definitely don't like wasps or hornets. So I try to stay very far away from those things as I can. But I've heard some interesting stuff about nests recently because I've had a few of them pop up and I've killed them and gotten rid of them, right? And then I would see bees or whatever coming back to that area. So what his wife told me after she did some research, because they really do have an overwhelming amount of hornets around their house that they are trying to eradicate at this moment in time. What she told me is to leave the nest. And I said, what? Why would I leave the nest? I want it dead. I want it gone. And she said it deters them from making a nest in the same spot. And I never thought of that. I figured, hey, if there was a nest and you kill a nest, they're not going to come back and make another nest in the same spot, right? That don't make no sense to me. But it seems like that's what they do. So if you kill the nest, leave the nest, then they're less likely to make a nest in the same area because they see that one was already made and killed. So I hope that's true because I'm going to start leaving any new ones that pop up after I kill them. I'm just going to leave them there because I don't want these things. I want them to go away. But, man, another one to worry about. And they're aggressive? Great. That's just what we need. I don't want to bother them, but I also don't want these things in my backyard. So if they're already in Connecticut and parts of Massachusetts, it's only a moment of time before they show up in New Hampshire and Vermont and Maine. So, I mean, I just think that these things are gross. I don't like bugs. I can't stand it. So, So a new humanoid robot prototype launches for home use. Neo Beta takes the company's humanoid robot from conceptualization to development.
The humanoid robots just keep coming. Neo is the latest, built by robotics company 1X. This pre-production beta model will be tested in home settings, an interesting shift from many of the more warehouse-focused humanoids we've been covering. Here's everything we know about Neo, the new robot on the block. 1X dropped a short and sweet teaser announcing its Neo robot. In it, the robot picks up a bag and hands it to someone and poses with a person for a picture. While this is the first video 1X has shared of Neo, it appears the robot made an appearance as a hologram alongside NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang when he announced the company's Project Groot, a platform for the development of humanoid robots. 1X's decision to show Neo with its arm around a person indicates how 1X may be hoping to differentiate itself from the competition. Most other robotics companies show interaction with humans primarily to test resilience or to show how humans and robots can work together. 1X seems to be selling a kind of close and casual encounter that we haven't seen a lot of in the humanoid robotic space. This is likely due to the fact that 1X is pitching Neo as something that could someday be used to help around the house. Something designed for the home will naturally require a deeper level of trust than something designed for a factory or warehouse setting, since the robot will know where you live and see where you sleep. Neo is about 5 feet 5 inches tall and weighs 66 pounds, making it one of the lightest humanoid robots we've covered here on What the Future. It can carry 44 pounds, run at a speed of 7.5 miles per hour, and has a battery life of 2 to 4 hours. If Neo is on the fritz or acting strange, 1X says the robot can be quickly taken over by a remote human operator for safety. Another interesting feature is that Neo is covered in clothing, making it look more like the first iteration Tesla bot, meaning a person in a robot suit, than an actual robot. The clothing may be an effort to cover up what 1X says is a, quote, muscle-like anatomy, perhaps to protect some proprietary technology or for aesthetic reasons. 1X says Neo can, quote, walk, jog, climb stairs, and navigate your space naturally.
Wow.
1X has made humanoid robots before, which could give us a clue at where Neo is headed. Neo's predecessor, Eve, was heavier, taller, and also clothed to cover up its robotic innards, making it look pretty jacked. Not exactly comforting to a world that's been conditioned on sci-fi movies. Eve uses wheels instead of legs to get around, and 1X describes it as an AI data collection platform and the foundation for Neo's learning. 1X has posted several videos of its Eve robots operating autonomously, performing a variety of tasks, with some appearing to be more successful than others. They are in training, after all. According to its CEO, 1X will be deploying a handful of Neo beta robots into homes this year for research and development purposes. The company hopes that ultimately its robots will be able to help around the house with chores and perhaps provide support to people with limited mobility. 1X is backed by OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, though it's unclear how OpenAI's technology is being used in 1X's robots, if at all. We do know that Figure, another humanoid robotics company, announced a partnership with OpenAI that allows its robots to converse and take vocal commands.
Well, you've seen it, everybody. You've seen it. They're going to be putting these things in houses, bro. Holy smokes, man. This is wild. Absolutely wild. Insane. I mean, the amount of trust that you're going to have. And he says he doesn't know what the OpenAI, if the OpenAI is even being used in these robots. But if it's connected, yeah, sure. We don't know exactly what information is being delivered to the humanoid. But what if, at a certain point in time, a switch can be flipped? And then it gets all of the open AI so that it can be fully autonomous to the point where it won't even listen to us. And now it's in our house? Holy shit. I don't know about this. I don't know about it. I do want one, though. I want one. So stupid. I'm like so petrified that it's going to take over and kill me. But at the same time, I'm like such a stupid consumer who's like, I want one of these, man. I want to be able to be like, yo, did you see my friggin' Did you see my Neobot, bro? I got a Neobot the other day. This thing's doing my laundry now. Wow, man. I don't even know anymore. So I brought this one up because I figured it would be wicked fun to talk about because housing is so unattainable. I thought this was fake because, I don't know, you can look at the picture of Elon here. It looks fake. It looks fake. It looks like it was all made up. But as I started digging into Elon's $10,000 homes, there has been many different phases that this has gone through over the last decade. I don't know why everything I've picked out this week I've seen in the last month, but everything seems to be like from 2016, 2017, which if you're anything like me, you really miss those days a lot. I miss everything before COVID. But I wanted to watch this video and see what is going on with Elon's $10,000 house and how it's now finally hitting the market.
So Elon Musk just purchased this foldable home for $50,000.
The Boxable rumor.
I do actually have a Boxable, yeah.
You do?
Some prototype Boxable that's down in South Texas.
Yep.
It's finally happening. The much anticipated $10,000 house by Elon Musk is officially hitting the market.
A local startup says a box will change the way homes are built.
It's called Boxable.
So this home right here takes less than 1 hour to build. Let me explain how this works.
And it's set to revolutionize the future of affordable living.
That was a pretty big deal. There was Twitter and others engaged in active suppression of information that was relevant to the public.
Its foldable home in a box will cut costs for builders and home buyers.
Designed by Musk's company, this groundbreaking home is compact, energy efficient, and built with cutting-edge technology, redefining what's possible in sustainable housing.
Some of these conspiracy theories have turned out to be true.
Imagine owning a home that's not only affordable, but also sustainable, futuristic, and completely off the grid.
What?
A house that costs less than some high-end smartphones and redefines the very concept of modern living. What if we told you that this house isn't just a far-fetched dream, but it's about to hit the market, and it's all thanks to Elon Musk?
What?
That's right. The $10,000 house, developed by none other than Elon Musk's company Boxable, is set to revolutionize the housing industry as we know it. In this video, we'll dive deep into how Musk's ambitious project is finally coming to life, the technology behind these innovative homes, their potential impact on the housing market, and why this could be a game changer for millions of people worldwide. Chapter 1. The vision behind the $10,000 house. Elon Musk has never been one to shy away from tackling the world's biggest challenges, from electric cars and space exploration to renewable energy. Now he's turning his attention to one of the most fundamental human needs: shelter. The idea of a $10,000 house fits perfectly into Musk's broader vision of making life on Earth, and eventually other planets, more sustainable and affordable. The housing crisis has been a growing problem worldwide, with skyrocketing prices making homeownership a distant dream for many. Urban areas are struggling with overpopulation, homelessness is on the rise, and traditional construction methods are not only expensive, but also environmentally taxing. Musk's approach is to disrupt this traditional housing market the same way Tesla disrupted the automotive industry, with innovation, sustainability, and a focus on cost efficiency. The $10,000 house, often referred to as the Boxable Casita, is a compact modular home that can be assembled in a matter of hours. It's designed to be energy efficient, cost effective, and most importantly, accessible to the masses. Musk's goal is simple: to provide affordable, high-quality housing solutions that can be deployed anywhere, whether it's in a bustling city, a rural area, or even on Mars.
This is going to be like those tiny houses, and you can have it almost anywhere. You just need a lot of land, and you can put it down, and it's going to have, what? How do you get power to it? Do you have to run power? It says it's self-sustaining. This video is 54 minutes and 49 seconds long. Obviously, I can't play the whole entire thing, but I do think that this is a great idea because of all the things that were mentioned and all the things that I have been mentioning about the housing market and about the renters market. And it all ties in, man. Is this $10,000 boxable home going to be the new future for people who can't afford housing? Or is this just another thing for the rich? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know exactly how well this is going to do. Now, let's have some fun. So this one here is on the truth about cancer is finally coming out. I am very curious about this. I have been getting a lot of stuff from Miguel and Elijah per usual. So we're going to sit here and have some fun with it. Let's check this stuff out.
For dogs, cured your cancer, you better be ready for some skeptics. But Joe Tippin says it did save his life and others. And now even cancer researchers are open to the possibility it might be true.
My neck, my liver, my pancreas, my bladder, in my bones, it was everywhere.
2 years ago, Joe Tippin says he was told to go home, call hospice, and say his goodbyes. The doctors were unanimous. He was going to die of small cell lung cancer.
Once that kind of cancer goes that far afield, the odds of survival are less than 1%, and the median life expectancy is 3 months.
Tippin says he went from 220 pounds to 110, but that was January of 2017. Today, Tippins is very much alive, and what he credits for his survival has doctors scratching their heads and the rest of us raising eyebrows.
About half the people think I'm just crazy, and half the people want to know more and dig deeper.
Tippin says he got a tip, not from a pharmacist, but a veterinarian. And in his desperation, he turned from people medicine to dog medicine, specifically fembendazole, or what you give a dog when it has worms.
Truth is stranger than fiction, you know.
Just 3 months later, Tippin says his cancer was gone.
What?
I'm usually skeptical, and I was, and maybe still am, about this one. But there's an interesting background to this.
Cancer researchers like Stephen Prescott are skeptical, but they also are not dismissing this anti-parasitic's potential. He says Tippins is not the first person to potentially benefit, and maybe not the last.
Scientists at many incredible places have done work on this for years.
But was it the dog dewormer, or was it something else? Tippins took the dog medicine with daily vitamin E supplements and CBD oil. He was also taking an experimental cancer-fighting drug. But Tippin says out of the 1,100 patients on that clinical trial, he was the only one cleared of cancer. Tippin says he was saved by the dog dewormer, and he plans to take it for the rest of his life.
Let me see the fucking package.
$1 million on me with traditional means before I switched to a $5 a week medicine that actually saved.
Wow, what was the name of that shit again? Fenbendazole, huh? Dog dewormer. Huh. Remember that name. Look into it. I know I'm going to. This is wild. A dog dewormer cured this guy of cancer. Now, granted, they did say that's not the only thing he was on. He was on vitamin E, he was on a CBD, he was on a cancer treatment medicine. But out of all the people that were in that study, he was the only one taking the dog dewormer. And he was the only one cleared of all of his cancers. Definitely got me raising my eyebrows. Definitely going to look into this a lot more. That's wild. Wow. Now, I've been wondering where Biden is. Where is Biden? Where's he been? Is Kamala our president right now? Because I haven't seen Biden in a few minutes. I've heard that he's dead, that he's missing, that they put him back in the basement. And then I saw this video a couple weeks ago, and I thought this was hilarious. Oops. And I thought this was hilarious. This is Biden talking to some people. It looks like he's in a garage or something. And it looks as though he's going to put on put on a MAGA hat, I guess. I don't know. Let's check it out.
Hey, they're good. They're good. You got the fried chicken. I don't know if you like it.
So he put on a Trump 2024 hat. This guy is smoked. Oh my God, man. This is going to be the most interesting election ever. Now, real quick, I'll show you another cut of that video. So this is the angle from the front when he put on the Trump 24 hat. Let's see here. And then I'll play this one real quick. So let's hear this. And yeah, this will take us out for the day.
You shouldn't have. What was that? Is that a dog? Uh-oh. It's Hillary.
Jesus Christ. What was that? Was that a dog? It was Hillary. Oh, it was Hillary. It was Hillary. Of course it was Hillary. Oh, Jesus Christ, everybody. That is just that's a day of that's an episode, everybody. That's an episode. That's what that is. So as always, I do greatly appreciate all of you. It looks like the subscribers are increasing. I love seeing new subscribers. Thank you. I greatly appreciate it. If you're new to the podcast, remember to subscribe. It's right there. Click it, smash it. I greatly appreciate it. Of course, if you want your opportunity to be a guest or tell your story, talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. And go ahead and send an audio, video, or type it out. And then, of course, the link tree is in the description below the video. It's where you find everything TWT. It's just that easy. And now it's just that easy to copy and share it with everybody you know. And then, of course, if you don't want to do that, click the share button right there. Here. Click it and share this video right now. And with that all being said, everybody, I hope you have an amazing rest of your Thursday. I hope you enjoy your weekend. And as always, I will talk to you later.